Well, welcome back everyone. This is season 18, episode 3 of Cooking with Dan and Monica. And tonight we're making halibut encrusted with panko breadcrumbs and Spanish rice. So I have 4 fillets of halibut, roughly the same size, although 2 of them are a little thinner on the edge than the other, so I'll have to watch for that. But I just seasoned the halibut with salt and pepper and then coated in flour, and then I have a bowl there with 2 eggs and water, which I mixed up, and now into the into the panko and regular breadcrumb mixture. So that is a half a cup of panko and a 1/4 cup of Italian seasoning, regular breadcrumbs. Okay, and there's how the other one's coated. I'm going to come back and coat the other 3 with the breadcrumbs and be back in a bit. Okay, well, welcome back. I've heated my oven to 400 degrees, a little high. The recipe I originally got this from said 350, but I want to cook the Spanish rice and the fish in the same oven at the same temperature. So I'm going to go a little high and decrease the cooking time for the fish. What I've just done was put a non-stick baking sheet with 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil into the oven. And that's going to go at 400 for about a half hour and get sizzling hot. While that's cooking, I'm going to prepare my rice. As you see in front of you, I have 2 cups of homemade chicken stock, a half a cup of diced onion, and 2 cloves of garlic minced. I'm going to add the chicken stock to a saucepan. I got that term right this time, saucepan, and I'm going to bring that to a boil. When it starts boiling, I'm going to keep it warm on a low simmer. Okay, let's take care of that measuring cup, bring it over to the sink, and now what I'm going to do is saute the onions in a little bit of olive oil, and that's been cooking on the skillet back here. So I'm going to add the onions first, and they're going to go. When the onions are pretty soft, not brown, I'm going to add the garlic, and you can see the garlic in the pan, and that's all just cooking away on medium heat, not terribly hot. To my right over there is the saucepan, and way to the back there is the cabinet door that I left open, and that makes Mrs. DePremio very angry. Okay, so the onions are cooking. They're getting almost translucent, so it's going to time to add the rice. I got 1 cup of rice here, as I had 2 cups of liquid, and we're going to coat this rice with the oil. Let's mix it all up with the onion and garlic and oil, and that's going to go for about 4 or 5 minutes until it just about starts to toast. Okay, the rice has been toasted, nice and warm. I'm going to create a hot spot here, and right smack in the middle of the pan, I'm adding about 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste. I like to actually cook the tomato paste a bit and not simply add it raw to the rice or to the onions. So there's about 1 teaspoon, and let's get a little bit more in there. Just eyeball it. That looks good, yeah. Okay, you hear that sizzling, dancing around. Let's move that around so it doesn't burn. Again, the flame's not terribly hot. And at the same time, I'm going to take some Mexican oregano, put in my hand about a teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoons worth, and crunch that up with my hand and throw that into the pan as well. Okay, hands nice and clean. Let's crunch that oregano, and there, onto the paste. Now let's mix it all together with the rice. And there we go. So this is a celebration today because it's our anniversary, and in addition I had great news from the doctor. I went to the doctor's today, and I said, "Doctor, I'm a little concerned. I got 2 songs stuck in my head. One is She's a Lady and the other is Delilah. I don't know what to do about it." And he said, "Don't worry. you have Tom Jones syndrome. I said, Tom Jones syndrome? Is that rare? And he said, well, it's not unusual. So we're celebrating that. We're going to have a nice Ponte Pinot Grigio from Temecula Valley tonight with the rice and the fish. Okay, how do I cook the rice? Well, let's take it to my very hot saucepan of chicken stock, homemade, and that recipe is available to premium members on my secure website. So let's put this guy in here and get all the rice out of there. Sorry you can't see that, but I'm putting it into the water. I'm going to put a lid on it. There we go. See, I want everybody to see that. Lovely technique. Okay, and that cabinet door is still open. All right, let's get all the rice in there. We'll put the lid on. Make sure if you do this technique that it is oven safe pots, oven safe lids, and make sure you use a pot holder when you grab the pots. Okay. And into the oven she goes, and that's going to go for about 25 minutes at 400 degrees covered, and another 10 minutes or so uncovered, to your liking and to your texture. Okay, well, the fish I coated earlier has been setting up in the refrigerator with the breadcrumbs. That pan that you look at now is very hot. It is a baking sheet that had 2 tablespoons of canola oil on it. Now let's take our fish and put it into the pan and hear that sizzle. So the pan is very hot. It is not a very greasy or oily dish. It's just enough to make sure that the breadcrumbs don't stick and they get a nice crispiness to them. Okay, at 400 degrees, it'll go for about 6 minutes aside, tops. Maybe another minute or 2 on the sides, but you want to go 6 minutes on the top, 6 minutes on the bottom, and then maybe 30 seconds to a minute on the side so everything gets crispy. Alrighty. So it's been about 5 minutes, 6 minutes since I put the fish in. Let's take it out and let's flip them over. So it cooked on that bottom side, now on the top. And as a reminder, it's an Italian seasoning, regular breadcrumbs, and about a quarter cup, as well as a half a cup of the panko. While I'm taking care of that, I'm going to look at my rice. Sorry you can't see that. Terrible shot here, but I'm going to keep it up as is. I'm mixing the rice right now just to make sure it cooks evenly, even though I'm going to put it back in the oven. I have turned it a few times with the lid on. Now the lid is finally off, and we're going to get that lid out of there so nobody touches it with their bare hand. It burns themselves. Okay, let's get a view from the top. It's been about 5 minutes since you last saw me, maybe 6. This is what the rice looks like. Let's turn it around again, make sure there are no wet spots, but it's looking really lovely, steaming up. There's a bay leaf in there. I forgot to tell you about that. I put a bay leaf in with the chicken stock. And it looks to me like the rice can use another 3 to 4 minutes at most in the refrigerator. It's starting to get a little crispy on the edges, but the middle parts are staying nice and moist and very fluffy and not sticking together. So back into the oven, and we'll be back. Okay, so we got another view. Let's take that out. People were complaining that they weren't seeing my face, so I'm trying to show my photogenic face to the world. Okay, so let's get this rice out of the oven. That's what the finished product looks like. And well, that's a strange shot, but I've already loaded it. I'm not re-editing this graph or this image. Have taken all the rice out of the bowl. see it's pretty dark outside. It's about 6:25, 6:30 on a Thursday night. Okay. Lovely shot. And now we're coming back. The fish came out of the oven some time ago. I put them in the toaster oven just to keep warm at about 130 degrees. I don't want them overcooking. So that's what our fish looks like, and the sides did not have an opportunity to get really crispy, but you don't want to overcook fish. So the top and bottom are very crispy, and the sides, they're a-okay. And there we have it. Spanish rice, panko-encrusted fish, and a lovely arugula salad on the side. Thanks for watching. Served with a Pinot Grigio from Temecula Valley, Ponte, and makes a lovely dinner. Bye now.